So one kind of really challenging thing about freemium products is you sort of have to throw a dart and hope that the segmentation that you chose for free versus paid both makes sense to the user. You want to give away enough value such that the free product is actually useful and that you retain users and that you get sort of the benefits of the product spreading and the lower friction, but you don't want to give away the farm. And the other vexing thing is once you give something away to users, it's very, very difficult to take it back. So we encountered this sort of on a small scale with one of our features. So one of the things that Dropbox does is it lets you retain whenever you save a file, it'll also keep all prior versions of file. And if you delete something, you can bring it back. Very useful when something goes wrong, but 95% of the time or whatever, this is not a feature you're going to be interacting with every day. And this is an expensive thing to do because, for obvious reasons, you're not just storing a file once, but if the file's changed 10 times, you're storing a multiple of that file's contents. It got to the point where we realized this obviously from the beginning, but we're like, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal. And then until one day we're looking at everything and we do our analysis again, we're like, holy shit, more than half of our hosting costs are going to deleted and not restored and prior versions of files. So we're like, okay, for the economics to work for free users, we can't do this forever. So how do you deal with something like that? And we're always really, really careful about our reputation, and because obviously, Warren Buffett said it takes, 15, 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to destroy it. But yeah, there's certain fundamentals. So, one, we try not to do anything at Dropbox that is, just good for Dropbox and not good for the user. But just sort of fundamentally, people hate being sort of baited and switched or tricked or locked in, and they hate paying for something that used to be free even more. So what we did to kind of alleviate kind of the psychological pressures there is first we sent out an email explaining the situation pretty directly and honestly, being like, hey, look, this isn't good for you, or this is not good for us. Here's why it's also not good for you, but it's totally understandable that you would want to retain this feature and not feel like you're losing something. So we're going to let you opt into the old behavior for free. This actually has sort of a side benefit where it's like, I'm one of the cool kids, I got here early, I got the special feature, and everybody else, going forward does not. And then we added a 30-day grace period and then turned this sort of unlimited undo history into a paid feature. So not only saved on our hosting costs, but then also increased our incremental revenue. So just kind of provide a survey of the different kinds of challenges that we encountered at Dropbox with the freemium model. Overall, so the best thing about freemium for us is, especially trying to go after a new market with a big empty space, it's a great way to grab share quickly and get people acquainted with the idea. And if you can get your users to spread it around, that is super effective and also pretty inexpensive compared to other means. The bad part is as I said, it's really, really challenging to get the product segmentation right. And even today, we leave a ton of money on the table with probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users that use the product all the time, and would pay, but just don't see any benefit of more space. The problem with freemium is, so you can get to a point where the lines cross, but there's always sort of, if you're really trying to keep prices as low as possible, or and so on, you're really vulnerable to small swings or small changes to these little numbers having massive impacts on your profitability. So I think I'm out of time, so that's it. And as I said before, okay, and that's it. Questions?